An unexpected, extremely early good morning to everyone at 6:11 in the morning, because I come to find out by just when I'm waking up and I'm noticing that one of the cats is like scratching at my bed for some reason. One of the cats peed on my bed. Get ready, because this is year 6 of daily vlogging. Yeah, I am pretty sure that it was Keanu, because I was awake, but I was like coming out of being asleep when I could hear Rocket in the litter box, and I was like, dude, oh my gosh, like, you don't have to, because they always like scratch the sides, and I'm like, dude, like, it's fine. And then I could tell one of the cats had jumped up right here, and I thought it was Nola. But then when I looked down on the ground, Nola was on the ground. And I was like, oh, then I guess it's Keanu. And that's about when I noticed that whoever it was, before I realized it was Keanu, was like scratching at the bed. And I was like, what? I was like, is there something on it? Like, you know, is there a bug? Is there whatever? That's when I looked over, as I said, thought it was Nola. Then I was like, oh, it's Keanu. And that's when I reached my hand over thinking like, oh, what is it? And it was wet. And I was like, why is the bed wet? And sure enough, peel back, thankfully it missed this top layer, because this was kind of pulled to the side so I can put this back on my bed. But the comforter, and then underneath the comforter, the quilt that my Nana made for me, which they're in the wash and it's on hand wash, so it's fine. I know it'll be okay, hopefully. Especially because it had like just happened, and I could tell, because I could tell it had just happened. And then it was on, the only one it wasn't on was on the fitted sheet, which makes sense because there was 3 layers that it basically kept it from going to. But so I put everything in the wash and I changed my bed, which I guess I needed to change my bed anyway, but this was not the way that I intended on getting to do it. But, and also too, Keanu, this is probably TMI, but Keanu, when Keanu goes a lot, because Keanu drinks a lot of water, and kind of like always has, so you can kind of tell. So I'm gonna text Ashlyn now, even though she's asleep, and hopefully won't hear it, but be like, hey, I usually, when cats do that, it's because they're trying to tell you that something is wrong, or they're not feeling 100%. So I need to tell her that something might be wrong. Honestly, I don't know if I can go back to sleep. I don't know. It's 6:30 and I'm quite awake, so I don't think I'll be able to. Also too, it wasn't a great night's sleep anyway, just because my anxiety had me not waking up with like anxiety attacks. It was just that my brain was kind of just going and going and going and going, and so I would wake up frequently and be like obviously anxious and nervous, but not enough for me to be like, oh my gosh, I'm having an attack. So while I am awake though, I thankfully just figured out what might be causing part of the problem with my Instagram. It's not gonna fix anything right now because I'm still banned until Saturday, whatever. Anyway, but I had gotten the email or the message twice now that my Instagram account had been compromised and I needed to change my password because I tried to do that Instagram top 9 thing. So the first time I got the message, I was like, okay, that makes sense because I tried to do it and I guess I used the wrong website. I still think I used the right website, just something went wrong this time. Anyway, but the second time I got the message, I was like, that was like a week ago. Like, how in the world? Come to find out, if you go to privacy, like on Instagram, settings, privacy, and then apps and websites that have your information, Best 9 was still on there. So I was able to remove it so they no longer have access to anything, which it's not like I gave them access to my password before anyway, but anyway, so I've removed it now, and for good measure, I changed my password again. So once this ban ends on the 15th, I should not have to worry about getting a message again about them being like, your account was compromised, because then I'd be like, well, I don't know what you want from me. Just casually watching the sunrise from bed, because I think that's where it's rising, because it's not rising over here. More horrible lighting behind me. It's now 12:08. I just hung out this morning, and I've got a cat on my lap, and I am working from home, but I'm only logging the hours and minutes and whatever that I'm actually actively working on stuff to help AWP out financially, so that way they don't pay me for the whole day. So currently I've done probably about... Sorry, I just realized I'd calculated wrong, because I forgot I didn't start at 10:30, I didn't really... Anyway, I've done about an hour of work, because I started a little bit before 11 doing emails on my own, and then I had Lynn asked me to do 1 or 2 things already, but those are done, and now I'm just kind of waiting for my next assignment. So this time I'm not logging, so I'm not gonna lie, I am so anxious for this test tomorrow. My hair's a wreck. I threw it in a side braid last night, because if I didn't, Rocket was gonna try to eat my hair, and so I did not, like, brush it to section it at all, so it's a mess, and I don't have my beanie on, so that's why it looks like a mess. But I am so nervous for this COVID test tomorrow, because every single time I take one, you know, I'm very nervous for the results, but this will be only the second time that I am taking a test knowing that I have been exposed, but this is a really close exposure. So even like for the entirety of today, like my brain has been trying to make up symptoms that don't actually exist, and I know they don't actually exist because when I work on something or I focus on something like my book, it goes away. And it's of course mostly affecting, it's the pseudo symptoms for my throat, but it's almost like the outside of my throat, like not even inside, is so, it's not sore as in a sore throat, but sore as if, like, I don't know, it's so weird to describe, but I think it's because this mask pulls at my ears, and I know that's a weird, like, connection to make, but, like, when I swallow, it's not sore, it's not anything, I don't feel like my lymph nodes are inflamed, like, it doesn't, not to say it doesn't actually exist, but it doesn't actually exist, but regardless, we will see what tomorrow's test says. So, it is, what time is it? 6:04. I am pretty sure I'm done for the day. I basically worked 2.5 hours, but while I wasn't working, I was reading The Beginning of Everything by Robin Schneider, and I didn't really know what to expect from this book, but I enjoyed it. Like, the first 2 chapters, I was a little like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, which those I read yesterday, the day before, and then I read the rest of it today. But I really enjoyed it. It definitely reminds me of, like, a John Green book, so if you're, like, a fan of John Green type books, like the relation, sort of like, what is it? I would relate it to, like, in the style of Everything and The Fault in Our Stars, and I know Everything isn't John Green, but you know what I mean. That's basically, I don't think it's John Green. Anyway, that's basically what I related to. So if you're a fan of those, highly recommend The Beginning of Everything, because I really enjoyed it, and I really like the characters. I've got to see, I feel like this would be one that does have a movie adaptation, and if it doesn't, I think it's going on my adapt shelf. Not to say that it would be an easy adaptation, but like, yeah, like, it could be done into a feature. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if it already has one. So, that's that. Yay for logging 2.5 hours on my sheet, but at least I got to work from home. Very grateful for that. So, I'm still feeling fine, thankfully. Very grateful for that. I think I'm gonna take a shower tonight just in case if I wake up tomorrow and I'm not feeling 100%, and I'm doing the test tomorrow morning anyway, so I would not want my hair to be wet, because it is cold now. It is chilly outside for these past few days, and it will continue to be, so I would not want to leave the house with wet hair. And so, as I said, that way too, in case if it does hit me, and in case if I am not feeling 100%, and then it would probably just most likely continue to sort of go downhill from there for a few days. That way I've at least showered recently. Ashlyn feels well enough and is going on a walk
She's honestly, for the past few days, has just said she's just been dealing with congestion, basically, for, like, the past 3 days.
Okay, some pretty exciting news. So you know when I submitted those 3 auditions almost a week ago or filmed and submitted those 3 auditions on Wednesday. So the last one I did was a voiceover, hello, monologue, and it was for the Warner Media Access Talent Spotlight, which it's the first time they're doing this, but they're basically looking for typically underrepresented groups, and so people with disabilities, both physical and mental, are a part of that. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I definitely have to submit. So Ashlyn helped me film the monologue. I sent it in. Wasn't expecting to make it to the second round, but I did. I just got the email that they basically, I reached the callback stage. So now they have given everyone who reaches this stage 12 different scripts to choose from to do a scene with, you know, the reader of your choosing, whatever. And so we get to choose which one we want to do, and if, like, what character inside each side we want to do, which is really a relief because there's one set of sides that the set of sides that the character was originally for, I wouldn't want to do her. I want to do one of the other characters in the scene. So I think what I'm going to do is, it's not due until the 21st, so I'm going to wait until Ashlyn is better, assuming that I don't catch it and start to feel bad. And if that's the case, like if my test tomorrow comes back positive, then I will be like, never mind, let's just shoot this thing, because I don't want to wait until I'm potentially feeling bad and potentially not have enough time. But anyway, super exciting. And I think I'm gonna ask her dad, either Ashlyn or her dad, if I could do, I'm going between 2 scenes, and they're both different. They're different characters, and they, you know, tell us to play to our strengths. And so both of them are characters that I could play. One of them is on the older side, older as in like more my age, playing up to like 22, but the other one is more of a teenage role. And my monologue could be played either way, but the movie it's originally from is an adult doing it, so I don't know, just want to get their opinion on which one I should do. But either way, very exciting. I'm heading to bed. It is like about 9:40. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Social media is in the description. Love you all.